If you use the internet to check out interesting things about your favorite franchises like myself, you probably know that an annoying thing about it is common knowledge and misinformation because sometimes people on the internet didn't do proper research and ended up spreading incorrect or fake facts about certain pieces of media. For example, no, Totally Stylish Tattoos Barbie did not count when the lower back tattoo with Ken's name on it. That's all in the picture is actually the 2007 Surf's Up Beach Barbie, in which no, it also did not come with that tattoo. With the release of the Nintendo Switch 2 and Mario Kart World, I figured out that I should check on some common and interesting misinformation regarding my favorite franchise of all time, Super Mario Bros. This entire video, I'm just gonna basically be the nerd emoji saying things like, actually. Let's begin with the misinformation that inspired me to make this video. I saw a lot of articles claiming that did you know that in a 1993 in Character's Guide, it says that Yoshi's real name is actually Team Yoshi Soars Muncha Koopas, thus Yoshi is just a nickname? What? Oh my god, I can't believe my lie has been a whole lie! That's where someone would say if they didn't do proper research. Because it turns out that this was just a joke fact. You see, this idea was written by someone unaffiliated with Nintendo's Japanese brand that uses a comical sense of humor that is not meant to be taken seriously. On the same page, it also mentions that Mario is supposedly a Homo Nintendonus. What? And speaking of names, around the time New Super Mario Bros. Wii came out, there has been a rumor that Nintendo said that supposedly the yellow and blue toads are called Alagold and Bucketberry, but guess what? None of this was confirmed and it turns out to be false. Interestingly, the name Alagold comes from an unofficial Chinese translation from Revenge of the Sith titled Bastard of the West. Here's an image from supposedly the Nintendo Power magazine issue of September 2000, in which it claims that Waluigi's real name is actually Jimmy Puparopalos. But this isn't the real page from the actual magazine. This one is. The fake one notably mentions Mario Kart Double Dash, which came out in 2003, and it uses artwork of Wario and Waluigi from Mario Party 7, which came out in 2005. This means that Waluigi's name is not Jimmy Pupadopalos. Funny. Now, of course, there's nothing wrong for you to take these as fan nicknames. Just please do not say that these are official facts because that is not true. This is how Daisy used to look like during the late N64 era. Her dress was different, she had longer hair, but most notably, her skin was thinner. Did Nintendo whitewash her during the GameCube era? Actually, no. If you look at Daisy's artwork from her debut in Super Mario Land on the Game Boy, you will see that she was depicted with light skin. In fact, other characters such as Mario were depicted with tanner skin in artworks during the Nintendo 64 era, but it was most likely unintentional due to how primitive CGI was at the time. However, I believe the reason why fans associate Daisy's classic design with tanner skin was because of her mother in Mario Party 3, as well as her trophy in Super Smash Bros. Mainly depicted her with tanner skin compared to other characters. However, it seems that a lot of newer games depict Daisy with tanner skin like she did in the N64 days. Back when Super Mario Bros. Wonder was announced, a lot of people claimed that Nintendo confirmed that the elephant fruit can only work on Mario, while the other characters get different animal transformations when they get this item. I think it was because the elephant fruit is colored red like Mario, similar to how the Super Crown from New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe only work on Toadette because the top resembles her head. But the thing is that this power-up is based on a apple, a fruit that is commonly colored red, and this power up is obviously based on an elephant as well. I mean, why don't we turn other characters different animals? That would be like if Luigi would use the fire firework, but he gains ice abilities. Eventually, we got a Super Mario Bros. Wonder Direct a month before the game came out, and guess what? We got to see the characters use the elephant fruit and they become elephants. So you guys were all wrong. But have a apple for snack, okay? This one is a classic because I remember getting fooled by this one. Alright, so back in 2017, there were so many news articles about claiming that Mario is no longer a plumber, and I was like, what? That's one of the most iconic things about Mario himself. How could they done this? However, a couple months later, I started to think about something. It turns out that Nintendo never confirmed anything about this, and it was all false information from news articles just trying to get attention. I'm assuming this was done because we mostly see Mario saving the Mushroom Kingdom rather than doing actual plumbing. But eventually, these articles were updated so they will be saying things like Mario is still a plumber, he's just not limited to that. But I gotta say, you guys did a pretty good job fooling me for a while. On Prima Games strategy guides for Mario Kart Double Dash and Wii, they mentioned that Daisy is Peach's cousin. However, that doesn't mean that is canonically true, as Nintendo never confirmed that the two princesses are related. Plus, Prima strategy guides are notoriously infamous for containing a lot of mistakes about gameplay and lore on video games. I guess the author did this because the princesses are the love interests of the Mario brothers, so they must have thought that they were related or something. And similarly, Wario and Waluigi are confirmed to not be brothers. Yeah, a lot of people, including myself, thought that these two could be related since, you know, they're the rivals of Mario and Luigi, but nope, they're not brothers. However, I guess it makes sense, as in the Mario Party games, if you pair up the two in tag teams, they're never referred as anything like the Wario brothers, so alright then, I guess these two are simply just partners. And lastly, no, Toadette is not Toad's girlfriend nor sister. The character was created for Mario Kart Double Dash so that Toad can have a partner since the game's gimmick is two racers and one kart. But Nintendo never confirmed her as a sister nor as a girlfriend, and so it's most likely that the two are simply just friends or partners. Now it is time to talk about probably the most infamous piece of misinformation in the entire franchise, the supposedly scrapped time limit in Luigi's Mansion. Ooh, scary. If you don't know what I'm talking about, well, here it is. A lot of people on the internet have made a lot of speculations and rumors that originally Luigi's Mansion was supposed to have a time limit in which Luigi would have had 24 hours to save Mario from the mansion, and if he fails, the game over would have had the titular mansion disappear when Mario inside, and it would have ended with a depressing and terrifying Luigi in front of it. I won't play it to you because I don't want any people to get any jump scares, but if you have seen those videos about evolution of X characters' deaths in video games, you will notice that a lot of people love putting this supposedly beta game over on it. But what if I told you something even scarier? None of it is true, folks! You see, the time limit was actually used just so that players can have their turns to play the demo before the game actually came out in November 2001. And as for the supposedly beta game over, that's not actually an early game over screen. It's actually just used for a full motion video to demonstrate the power of the GameCube. However, the depressed Luigi did appear as a model that ended up unused depending on how many money you had collected and how the mansion would end up looking at the end of the game. So I know, can I just mention that Luigi looks super ugly in the original Luigi's Mansion. I'm glad they managed to make it prettier and started in Mario Party 4. A few weeks before the release of Mario Party Superstars, the YouTuber Peanut Butter Gamer had made a tweet pointing out that the penguin vehicles were supposedly censored with generic ones in the minigame Bobslide Run. However, the version of Bobslide Run used in Superstars is actually from the original Mario Party, as opposed to the one from Mario Party 2, which used penguins. Now, I'm sure there's still a lot of people believing that they chose the Mario Party 1 version of the minigame instead of the Mario Party 2 version because of the penguins having um, buttholes as represented by the little X's, but um, nope, the game did not censor the minigame. They just choose the original version of that of Bobslide Run. The last piece of misinformation I want to clarify was caused because of Nintendo themselves, and that is Luigi's very first appearance in a video game. Luigi's bios for the trophies in Super Smash Bros. Melee, Brawl, and 3DS/Wii U claims that his first appearance was the arcade version of Mario Bros. However, that's actually not true because his first appearance was the Game & Watch version of Mario Bros., which came out in spring of 1983, while the arcade version came out in summer of 1983. Now, as we all know, the arcade version obviously became incredibly more popular compared to its Game & Watch counterpart. But it still doesn't change the fact that Nintendo basically keeps getting this fact wrong because Luigi originated in the Game & Watch era, not the arcade era. So those were some pieces of misinformation in the Super Mario franchise, and I think we learned an important lesson that when you're searching a specific information, you need to do some proper research before you're spreading facts throughout the internet. Now, of course, there's a lot of stuff that you could have easily been fooled by this. I mean, I previously mentioned that I got fooled about the whole Mario's no longer a prominent thing, so let me know if you were fooled by any of these misinformation and fake facts. So, anyways, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye!